How is everyone? To be honest with you, really brutally honest, I wanted to speak for graduation ever since I was 10 years old, but they served me brunch instead. They served me brunch. Anywho, when I first signed up for the tryouts, I had no idea what I was going to write about. So I decided to be really cool and ask my friends what they think I should write about. And they kept telling me the same thing. Don't make it cliche and make fun of stuff. So I thought about that for a while, and the only funny thing that I could think of would be a list of high school do's and don'ts. But once I tried that, I couldn't think of it. So I finally came up with an ingenious idea. Talk about what I really want to say to you guys. Therefore, you all can sit back and relax as I share my thoughts on some of the things that I truly care about. And on a brief note, I've spent a great deal of time centering my thoughts so that they're politically correct and neutral, so no one will be offended. First thing I'd like to talk about is optimism, which is defined as hopefulness and confidence about the future or success of something. This reminds me of a certain gym teacher whose motto was, always have success. Although football players, you may deem it more appropriate, find a way or walk it off. But for me, optimism is seeing that there is good in every situation. As the poet Khalil Gibran once stated, the optimist sees the rose and not its thorns. The pessimist stares at the thorns, oblivious of the rose. Sometimes you may have to delve into the depths of something to find the good in it, such as the death of a family member, where you had the chance to relish in the thoughts that you had about them and appreciate everyone around you even more. A great example that many of us have partaken in is the Relay for Life, where everyone comes together to remember those who courageously fought and are fighting against cancer, and they never give up. For others, it may be the fact that they're a terrible athlete, but the only thing they can do is improve. Simply looking at someone else on the team and saying, at least I'm not as bad as they are, isn't going to make you any better. Rather, a true athlete would say, I can do better. And still, optimism is what drives millions to believe Michael Jackson is innocent. Well, not that much. He can still be a man. But as we go off on our separate ways to college, trade schools, full-time jobs, and just hanging out, remember that in every bad situation, there is some good. Remember, even after the darkest thunderstorm, sunshine and the rainbow soon follow. Now, if optimism has a brother, his name is confidence. Confidence in ourselves is what makes each of us an individual. This year, I discovered that when I stopped caring about what people think about me, when I stopped trying to please people all the time, they seemed to like me more and made life easier and much more exciting. There will always be at least one person you can't please, and there will always be at least one person who doesn't like you, no matter what you do or say, making it absolutely pointless to try to make people like you. Brian Jett, an inspirational writer, gives some great advice about confidence. He says that you can determine how truly confident someone is by what they don't say about themselves. Carrying on a conversation about who you are and what you like to do is good enough to get friends. There's no need to ever tell people what's bad about you, and there's no reason to ever act or be like anyone else. I think that to be confident, all you must do is what you feel like doing. Say what you think, crack a joke whenever you think it may be funny, and ultimately, don't be afraid to throw yourself out there. A good example of this is George Costanza. In an episode of Seinfeld, he tells an attractive woman in the restaurant that he's unemployed and lives with his parents. Next thing you know, George is dating her. And just so everyone knows, my life is just like George's, minus the woman dying from licking too many stamps. So, from today until the day you're too old to move, don't be afraid to be the person you're created to be. Confidence will bring you success in whatever life throws at you. And finally, here are some of the most ridiculous things that have happened during our senior year. First of all, I do believe that MySpace has played a huge part in ruining everyone's lives. It's pretty cool that everyone and their mom has a MySpace. I know I'm addicted to it, I'm not going to lie to you, but a good half of the school is too, including Mr. Knoll, whose profile is now there. He doesn't have one, I just added that in every I imagine if I had spent the same amount of time on homework as I did on MySpace, I could be getting all these scholarships I'm talking about, or I'd be going to Yale or Princeton. I remember at the AP Go test at the Catholic Church, a few of us were gathering around in a circle saying we were trying to study last night, we're all going to fail, but MySpace was there. And it was calling to us and it said, You have to look to see if you have new comments. It's also funny, yet utterly insane, how MySpace is the new pickup line for our generation. With our parents, it was, hey baby, what's your sign? And back in the 90s, it was, what's your email? Then it went to cell numbers, and now it's, do you have MySpace? It got even worse when Tom allowed us to change our top 8, leaving us with tough decisions on who our top 8 friends are in life. The top 8 is the ultimate test of friendship. Bulletins can be more ridiculous either. According to some bulletins, my parents should have died 34 times. 24 girls should have confessed love to me. And I should have been killed at least 5 times, once by a random clown who's going to come out of the closet. But enough MySpace. Let's talk about school. For those brave students who took statistics, it definitely had an impact on us. It's simply amazing how Ryan Youngward and I played Mario on his calculator and discussed The Office all day, yet we both passed with B's. The first try kids might remember how I mistook Mrs. Maxwell for Matt Bunday, shoving her away from me in a wild anger. The second try was a blast, as Bunday and I changed the clock so we could get out early, and everyone's parents were notified. Or when Kenny and I opened the door to find the pleasing sound of birds coming from his cell phone, which actually tricked a few people. I heard third try had a great attitude and never caused any problems, so good job to you guys. That's a lie. Or how about this great CWP Maps of Europe, which all of us finished the weekend before it was due, for a few of you. I did enjoy those who worked hard on it for 2 weeks, only to forget certain things and lose points. Well, Zeke 5 and I were right, Zeke. Right there. Us, we did it 2 days before it was due, hand-wrote everything and used colored pencils, yet received an almost perfect score. All of you who didn't, owned! Nothing can announce my Michael Jackson dance of luau, though, with everyone huddling around me just to watch me do some thriller moves and fairly provocative touching, along with other ridiculous movements. However, even though I'm an incredible dancer, possibly one of the greatest dance moments this year was at Mr. West Valley, when Mrs. Katie Orgill put on a little group of her own. But, in the same token, Mr. Lacey kissing Clay that night was pretty intense, too. Let's just hope he never does that again to any student. Now, do I really need to mention Ram Prep, the back-to-front prohibition at dances, price gouging within the school, and the infamous janitor dodging? Looking back at all that has happened to the class of 2006, I'm really proud to be one of the guinea pigs. What with us having to pass with 24 credits to graduate, having to get our senior project done 2 years before it was required by the state, and improving our nutrition at school by taking away regular pop and serving pizza every day. Today should be a day that we reflect on the great times we had in high school. It's time to gather together for the last hurrah before we all go to the Sundome, get our diplomas, go off to parties, and for some of us, to trip on the stairs on the way down to the commencement. You all need to look forward to your future and meeting new people. But don't lose touch with these sitting around you. They are your friends. And finally, the last time, I present you to ask, and I know it's everyone, including me, is sick of hearing.